Moonwatching for birders. Are you ready for a virtual field trip? Let's go on a virtual field trip to an exotic place, the front of my garage at Dana Point, California, tonight, April 17th, 2022. We may see migrating birds, although we won't know what species they are. You're probably going to have to stay up late, depending upon the coastal cloud cover, which is threatening. Learn not to blink. Other than that and possibly chilly weather, we're going to have a great time. I will bring my filming equipment. You can bring hot cocoa and coffee and bundle up. It may turn out to be a great time looking for migrants moving over the face of the moon. Or not. Or not. But please note, I do not advise viewing this presentation on anything but a good high-resolution monitor. YouTube videos are not going to be as high a quality as my original examples, but I hope this video on a monitor will still be able to show you bird-moon transits. If you want more information about this activity, I have a YouTube video that was done during the fall migration in fall of 2021. Lots of information there, examples, filming protocols, information about bird migration, birdcasts, etc. But tonight, April 17th, 2022, I have an app about the moon, and it's about a 98% full moon tonight. Moonrise is 8:48 p.m. on the Pacific coast, and by the time we actually clears the horizon, it's probably going to be about 9:15, 9:20 before we can start filming the moon. Dana Point is on the Pacific Flyway. It's on the Pacific Flyway, and it's between Los Angeles and San Diego. You notice how the coast kind of slants upward in this area between San Diego and Los Angeles. Now, there is a website called Birdcast. I describe it in great detail on that earlier video, but it does predict migrations of birds in any night. It's based on radar and other factors. And so here I have chosen Dana Point, and you can see in the fall, and this is September 18th, 19th, and 20th in 2021, they were predicting low migrant activity. So what about tonight? Hey, tonight we're in luck. April 17th, 2022, there's now medium activity that they're predicting. Well, we'll find out if that's true or not. So I anticipate that I hope we will do better tonight than my fall 2021 moonwatching field trips, where I filmed the moon for 267 minutes. 42 objects were detected, including a satellite, and there was about one event every 6.4 minutes. I'm going to define what an event is later. But hopefully, with this medium migrant activity prediction from Birdcast, we will exceed that tonight, or not. We will see. We'll see. I mean, if everything was predicted, maybe people wouldn't do things. So I suggest you have a list of equipment that you want to bring with you to my small garage. I wouldn't go with the naked eye. You're not going to see very much. Binoculars, well, if you have them, that's fine, handheld. It's going to be really tiring, really fast. And the size of these transits are not very great. I have some spotting and astronomy scopes. We can set those up. 30 power is probably the best way of doing this. I have equatorial mounts. I only have one, a tripod and motor drive. And I'm going to save that for my Zoom camera, which has video capabilities, and it's a motor-driven equatorial mount, and it will keep the moon relatively in the center of the frame. So here is my equipment that's on the night of April 17th. If you notice in the upper right, you can just see the cloud bank coming. I have a red dot spotter on the top of the camera. It makes it easier to figure out where the moon is. So tonight, April 17th, right? That's what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to be using a Nikon P1000 on moon setting and manual focus. When I show you the videos, I'm going to adjust the image because the camera is kind of tilted. I'm going to recolor the moon to a grayscale. The camera, you can have a blue moon, a yellow moon, it's kind of a funny situation. I'm going to zoom into the moon so that the moon occupies the full the height of the image. It's about 32 optical power. And then I'm going to take the videos at 1080/60 frames per second for 3 minutes at a time, and then stop it, and then do another 3 minutes, another 3 minutes, another 3 minutes. It takes a lot of memory resources to do this because each 3 minutes is over a half a gigabyte. And then together we'll look at all the videos. I might make it a little easier for you on a large monitor, noting the segments that had flyovers and record where in the segment the event happened. And I'll do that twice because I'm not sure I got them all the first time. You might wonder how good am I in finding birds on film. After all, I can go back and look for, maybe that was one of my floaters in my eyes. I don't know. Crossing the moon for something like tonight's field trip. On a similar moon watching evening, I thought I'd look carefully at the 23 segments of 3 minutes each and noted 21 events. I'm going to define what an event is later. But when I re-looked at the segments, I found another 5 flyovers. So even there, when I had it right in front of me, I was right only 80% of the time, the first time. And I'll point out the ones that gave me trouble. So if you think it's easy, you'll have an opportunity of seeing those. And I'll use OpenShot Video Editor to trim videos just to show night bird activity events, so you won't have to sit through all of these segments. The trim sequences do not seem to have the same resolution as the originals, nor will this video on YouTube. So what are my goals? I'm hoping to improve your skill level when you're on your own looking for moon birds, and to do that, I'm going to show you the trim sections where transit just happened and see if you can spot the flyover. Then most of the time I'll repeat it with start-end signs on the edge of the moon and along the bird's route a thick white arrow that also indicates direction of flight. So we can go through those 23 segments relatively quickly. It's often said that peak migrant activity is from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. We will test that, but I'm keeping my eyes on that weather. Last night, coastal clouds rolled in, that was the 16th, after sunset and spoiled my plans. It was a good thing because it was low migrant activity that day. Although I did have an hour of filming this early morning, for some reason I got up and saw that the moon was actually visible through the cloud layer. And so from 1 to 2 a.m. I did some videotaping. But I'm not going to include that, even though there were not much, 6 events in about an hour, because I was fighting my equipment and the clouds the whole time, and I was losing. And so this picture I took this morning of April 17th at 1:52 a.m., and the moon could be seen through this cloud cover, but it wasn't ideal. This is from my garage. A question we will answer tonight is what compass bearings are these presumably spring migrants flying on, and we will compare the results of the fall moonwatching field trips. Note, if you look again at the map where Dana Point is and you were a bird following the coast during spring migration, you wouldn't be going north, you would actually be going northwest. We will test that. Another question that I will answer for you is to tally the relative size of the migrants as we see them fly over. It's a little tricky because it's not only the size of the bird, how high it's flying, etc. But there is a standard technique. And there is Moonwatch instructions at the University of Arizona. You have the address of it on the show notes. And there's a determination of size as it relates to the size of a crater. Now, the numbers there are from the fall. So you can see that most of these flyovers were half or less the size of the crater. It would be difficult with binoculars to see a lot of them. So here's a picture of the moon, and the crater is the Tycho crater, which is right here. Now, what's also important for you to understand is the directions. So if the bird is going to the right, and I'm seeing the moon toward the southeast from my garage, if the bird is moving to the right, it's moving to the west. And if the bird is moving to the left, it's moving to the east. If the bird is moving upward, it's northward, or downward is southward. That's fine. But remember, if the bird is moving to the right, it's moving westward or eastward, etc. Okay, are we ready? April 17th, 2022. Let's roll it. What memories will we capture on tonight's field trip? Segment 1, 924. No sightings. This is going to be one of those nights. Segment 2, 3 minutes later. Number 2. So number 2 is something is going to move across. It's going to be recognizable as a bird. So let's see. I'm going to start the video. And let's see the bird. Oh, wow! I've never seen a group of birds that go across the moon, especially in some sort of social group. That was really wild. I bet a lot of people who have moonwatched may not have ever seen that. But the evening is still young. And they're going in a northwest by north direction. I have here a still from the frame, and it looked like a bunch of shorebirds. That was my impression. Guess we will have to start using events rather than a single bird transit. So let's see. An event is where one or more, but in a social group, transits are made across the moon's surface appearance. So instead of figuring out each one of those 9 birds, I'm just going to make an average of their of the compass bearing. Segment 3. No sightings. Segment 4. No sightings. Segment 5. Uh-oh. Question mark. Now, if you look at this chart of size, look at the very bottom. Very large, mostly fast shadow, out of focus, half of the disk of the moon or more. Well, we're going to see a large, mostly fast shadow, but it's certainly not half of the moon. So watch this very carefully. Boom. You see that? That's crazy. What was that? Let's do that again at 1/16th speed. It's not going to help. There's actually only a few frames that have that. Now, what worries me is this. That outside of my garage, there's a community light. It's on all night long, and there are insects around there. And, I kind of think maybe that was an insect because they were around at that night. But we're going to call it unknown. Segment 6, 9:40 p.m. Another bird, recognizable as a bird going across the moon. Let's see if you can see it. Started going, and look at that. That's an interesting route. It goes through the whole width of the moon. Now, in order to make it clear for you, I do a start, an end, and where the bird is going. And when I redo it again, and I'm going to have to do this manually because PowerPoint doesn't allow me to duplicate an animation, which is kind of funny. I'm going to have to go down here and start the video again. You'll see the bird right on the top of the line. There he goes. Boom, 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 boom. Kind of neat. Okay. So, could you have picked that bird up? Now, it turns out that the moon is now behind a tree in the median, so we're going to have to pause for a half an hour to let the moon clear the tree. So we're back, 10:16 p.m., segment 7. Another bird that's recognizable as a transit. Let's see if we can find it. Start the video. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that bird? Let's do the start end. Let's give you where the route is. And then see this reminded me to do this. I can't go back when I'm doing a narrated PowerPoint. Okay, so we're going to start. What you do is you look at the start and to the right of the line. And I start the video, and there it comes up. Look how fast it's going. That's really crazy. That bird must be relatively close to us, I would think. Because it was really high, it would be going slowly over the moon. That's neat. Segment 8. No sightings. Segment 9. Oh, a 4. A 4 is the size of the crater. You should be able to pick this up. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Now, I am magnifying the moon. That's why it's kind of cut off on the bottom, so that you'll see more of it. So these are probably 125% of what it looks like when I put it on the PowerPoint slide. Start the video. There it goes. I'm sure you could have picked that up even with binoculars. Segment 10. No sightings. Doesn't look like a good night. Segment 11. No sightings. Segment 12. A 1. Very small, hardly recognizable as a bird. The problem is that when you're filming this, I can see actually by increasing the magnification the wing beats of the bird, and the bird changes its size if its wings are out or not. Let's see what a small one looks like. So let me start the video. Okay, people see that? See that bird? I'm hoping the resolution of your screen is enough. So let's put start and end there. Put the pathway. And again, my reminder that I need to do it manually. And start it. There it comes. Halfway. You can see the motion of the wings. The resolution is pretty good. Segment 13. No sightings. Is this what medium bird activity is like? Segment 14A. Now, obviously there's going to be a B. This is also a 1. This gave me trouble. I did not find it the first time. This is the second look. So this is not going to be easy. So I start the video. And I don't even, sometimes when I went back to try and figure out where the bird was, I had trouble. And did everyone see that? No? Well, let's do the start end. And let's do the direction it was going on. And let's do the manual rerun. And start it going there. There it comes out. Look how small it looks. But you can still get the feeling of the motion. And, it spends a lot of time going across there. It must be pretty high. Must be pretty high. Segment 14B. Uh-oh, another question mark. So here's another one of these blurry objects. Start the video. Did you see that? That wasn't very good. Now I'm going to slow it down, but it still won't make any difference. It's a single frame. So don't blink. Well, actually, this one, it goes across. But again, if it was a bird, it would be bigger, I think. It would still be blurry, but it would be bigger. So I'm going to just call that unknown. Segment 15. No sightings. 16A, it must be a B. A 2, recognizable as a bird. All right, let's start the video. Where is it? Where is it? If you blink or looking in the wrong place, you're not going to see the bird. So I'll do the start and end over here. And again, I'll do the manual rerun of the transit. And there it goes across. Again, you can barely see the wing action. 16B. Now this is a 1. In other words, this is a really very small bird, or at least a small relative size. And this gave me trouble. I only picked it up on the second time. And we'll start this going. And, I don't see it necessarily. No, okay, now I see it. Do you see it? Really going slowly. My impression is when it's going slowly, it's high. So we'll do the start end. We'll do the direction. And I will replay that to you. So you look at the start, and the bird will appear there, and then it's slowly going across. And you can see the wing beats. So the bird is continually beating its wings, going in a straight direction. It has things to do. It has places to go. Segment 17A. Now the activity is picking up. This is a 1, 2. A 1 also. Let's see. You should be able to see that. You can see the wing beats. Right? Try that again. Going west. Remember, if it goes to the right, it's going to the west. And I will manually show that. It comes from the left, it flies. You can see it's not quite in a straight line there. Segment 17B, 1048. Now, this is a question mark. This is really kind of neat. This is a neat thing. And I want to spend a little bit more time on this. So first, we'll go through the normal way of doing things. This is what the video would look like on the slide. And I don't want to give it away too much here. Actually, I think the video is going. And we will see. And did you see it? You may not have seen it. So let me show you this. So this individual is going to start at the start. It comes by number 1. It then kind of veers up toward number 2. It then makes a veer to the right at number 3. And 3, it makes a 90-degree turn. Then it goes to 4. Then it changes and goes to 5. Now, I'm showing you this at a quarter speed. Okay? So, let's start it going. And it's going to be really fast. There it comes. It's by 1, kind of veers to the left. At 2, it veers to the right. At 3, watch what happens. It makes a right turn. Then at 4, and look, it's beating its wings the entire time. In fact, it looks something like this. Let's do that again. Did I do that again? Yes, I think I am. Here it is. Now it's above the red dots. It comes up there, then goes to the right, and then makes a right turn. But it looks like it's beating its wings all the time. Now, I don't think that's a migrant. I don't think that's a migratory bird because it was all over the place. Could it have been a nighthawk? But, I would have thought the nighthawk wouldn't be beating its wings all the time. It would be shearing and, soaring. Could it be a bat? Bats, that's kind of interesting. I mean, I'm leaning to that it's a bat. I'm going to call it unknown, but my gut feeling it's a bat. And from the first video last fall, I had something about birds, bats, insects, and UFOs. Bats, nocturnal birds like owls, nighthawks, and flying insects could be in your line of sight. How high do they fly? Close to the surface, where their food items are? Only in the blurry zone? I think this what we just saw was up there, but not that high. The working assumption seems to be that any high-flying active moon animal during the fall and spring migration periods is a migrating bird. I don't think what you just saw was a migrating bird. And in fact, what I had bought, and I don't know how sensitive it was, which I had on, was this heterodyne bat detector at 40 kilohertz, and it was quiet. Though, I bought it specifically for this sort of event, but I'd have not much use of it, and I have not heard a bat on it yet, though I know it detects high frequencies. So here we are on segment 18A. You can see the activity is starting to pick up. It's 10:51 p.m. And we have here on A bird that's recognizable as a bird. Okay, let's see it. Okay. Start the video. You can see the wing actions, and it changes its velocity every once in a while. That's kind of neat. Let's do start and end. Put the arrow there. And then I'm going to manually have to restart it so you can see it again. Kind of neat. Okay. Well, if there's an A, there's a B. So here's 18B. This is going to be a small one. It's going to test your ability, your visual ability. Let's see if you can do this. Turn on the video. And this is kind of interesting. Everybody got a chance to see that? No, you didn't? Well, it's on the right side, actually. So let's put that there, and we will restart it again. So look to the left of the line. There it goes. You can see the action of the wings, kind of. You can just get that sense. All right, so that's the B. And it's going to show it again, I guess. It liked it so much. Wait till the end. Oh, look, there's a C. That means that there were 3 of them in this time period. Oh, that's a 3. This is a little bit bigger than usual. Let's see what a 3 looks like. Look at that. You can see the wings. That's kind of neat. Do a standard way of showing it to you. You can see it kind of does a U or a curve there. And it's going to show it again. Not sure why it's doing that, but that's all right. Oh, look, there's a D. That means there are 4 in this period of time. Wow. That's something else. Instead of 2. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Turn that on. Well, that was fast. Do the start end. And we'll start it like this. Almost looked like it was on a trampoline at the end, didn't it? Ah, look! A 5th one during that time period. Wow. And this I missed the first time. So this is going to be a second look one. And let's see if you can detect it. In fact, I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to do the start here. And it's going to go in that direction. And I've magnified it quite a bit. Look how high it is and look how slow it's going. But still you can see the wing action on that. That's kind of neat. Segment 19, 10:54 p.m. This is another one that I missed the first time. This is another small one. So again, I'm not going to fool around with this. I'm going to show you it. So you look at the start, you're looking over the line. I turned it on, and you can see it goes up high, then goes down. but you can still get the feeling for the wing beats. 20A, you can see the activity has increased dramatically. It's 20A, it's a 2. Oh, the clouds are starting to come in. You see the bird through the clouds? I'm starting to get a little worried here. We'll do start end. And a typical way of doing things. And there the bird goes. It goes way down and then up again. 20B. This is a 3. Clouds are getting heavier. Not a good sign. Start end. Goes the bird. 21A. 1101. It's a 1. See if we can detect that. In fact, I'm going to make it easier. Start end. Put the line there, and even though it doesn't look like it's all centered, I'm trying to center the moon in the camera. You can do that with the motor drive, so it's going to be moving the moon a little bit. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I didn't get a chance to see it. And there it is going to the left. 21B. A 3. Let's see what a 3 looks like. Oh, there it goes. Now, this is all one night and very limited time. Show you that again. It's neat. 21C. Now, this is a 1. Now, pay attention. We're going to be spending some time on this one. I'm going to show you the whole globe. You can see the clouds are coming across. In fact, this is one of the most spectacular scenes I've seen in my limited time of moon watching. Everybody got a chance to see that? That was spectacular. Spectacular. And it's going in see what I put a protractor on there. So if it's going left here, 32, it's actually going at number 2. So I have to figure this out. So it's actually going north by east on there. And that's how I'm going to do some measurements. But that was a spectacular situation. I want to show you this in a couple of different ways. So here I've magnified the section of the moon, and you can see that there is a thin line of dots. And that's going to move across the moon. It's not going to move in that direction. Instead, it's going to move like it's part of a V-shape section. And sometimes you see birds that are lined up in a line rather than the V, and they're all going in the direction that you see here. And so that's what we're looking at. They must be at very high heights. So I can't see the individual birds. I can just see dots. Now, this is 1/8 speed. You can see there are a bunch of craters on the bottom left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 craters. Look at the bottom. This is slow down 1/8, and you'll see, and there it comes. There comes the line. There are clouds going over it, so it's a little bit difficult to see. But now it's about a quarter up. Look at that wave of birds. How many birds are there in that group? Look at that. It's crazy. So I've done some looking online. Waterfowl can migrate at night in V-shaped formations. I wonder if that's a waterfowl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to kind of move along, keeping the that flock in kind of in the center of the screen, and moving the moon underneath it. So you're going to see black for a while as I catch up to the moon. I'm going to move the video down. And then I got it in such a way that it's coming up. So there's the flock. And you can see now when it hits the Sea of Serenity, I think, you can see how big that flock is. So I'm not sure how many individuals there were in there. I think there are anywhere between 2 and 3 dozen birds there. And so just to be conservative, I'm going to call it a flock of 2 dozen birds. Really pretty spectacular. All right, segment 22. Remember, we only have 23 segments before I call it quits. Here's a number 2 bird. In terms of size, going across. Still light clouds, not too bad yet. It's going to get worse. And let's redo that. I'll show you why we're doing all this measurement. 22B, another 2. I think we've seen that type of bird before. Start and end. (23A), a 3. 3, remember, that's a larger bird. Clouds are increasing. (23B), a 2. And 23C, which gave me trouble. I didn't see it the first time, and for good reason, because now it's really getting dark. Time to quit. Clouds are coming in. 11:04 p.m., April 17th. So what have we witnessed? We filmed for 69 minutes the face of the moon on 17 April 2022 from Dana Point, California, from about 9:20 p.m. to 11:07 p.m. with about a half an hour break. 28 events were recorded, of which 2 were composed of groups of birds, first time I've seen that, and 3 were considered unknowns. Of the 25 known events, there were something like 56 individuals and 69 minutes. Could have been even more than that. Could have been almost a bird a minute. During dividing the results of 17th of April into 2 time sequences and excluding unknowns, we can clearly see a major increase in bird sightings starting just before 11 p.m. So there are the results. 9:24 to 10:42, 15 segments, 6 events, 14 birds, including that small flock of 9 birds. 1 event per 7.5 minutes. But then 10:42 to 11:07, 8 segments, 20 events, about 45 or more birds, 1 event per 1.2 minutes. So birdcast projection for a moderate migration event that evening seemed to be accurate for our place and time. I plotted the compass bearings of the birds that you just saw, put them all together in this chart, and let's put that on a view of the map. And you can see that's really interesting. They're going toward the northwest. But I don't think they started in the middle of Southern California. I think, and this is conjecture. I think they came up the coast, and right about where we are, they kind of started to bear to the northwest. That's really kind of neat. If you compare it with the fall migration, they were all going pretty much, south. So there's something there maybe about bird migration in Orange County might be changing their bearings. Something to look for. As to the determination of size, you can see that they basically were all the size or smaller of that Tycho crater. And so that was kind of difficult to see if you had binoculars. So what have we learned? We learned that you can learn a lot just by watching. That famous philosopher said that, Yogi Berra. So this has been another of my JDW talks. I have YouTube talks on genealogy topics, census resources, Ellis Island. Had a lot of talks in the 1950 census that just came online. And then natural history topics, virtual birding field trips, birding optics, etc., and other YouTube videos that are of interest to me. So I hope you enjoyed that little virtual field trips. Stay safe. Get out there.